Lopez is dynamic. He's super, super dynamic. He has the ability to go out and get a win over just about anybody. You know, so it's hard to count against that. But Volk, um,
Jamahal Hill has just shared his shocking insights on the clash between Diego Lopez versus Alexander Volkanovski. However, Corey Sandhagen said that he believes Volkanovski will likely win his upcoming fight, but he also thinks Lopez has a very real chance. He pointed out that if Volkanovski wants to secure the victory, he'll need to focus on wrestling Lopez. While Volkanovski is certainly a strong striker, Sandhagen noted that Lopez is a dangerous and highly skilled striker in his own right, which could make it a challenging matchup on the feet.
Damn, these are some good fights coming up. Let's go with probably Volk will win that one, but I definitely think Lopez has a really good chance. I think Volk needs to wrestle Lopez if he wants to win because, not that Volk's a bad striker or anything, but I think that Lopez is a very good, dangerous striker.
Jeff Neal said that he's heard people pronounce it as Voloski, but he knows what's meant. He mentioned that Lopez is a young fighter who got his title shot out of nowhere, which means he could be coming for blood. Despite that, Neal said he's still gonna roll with Alexander Volkanovski.
Heart says Volkanovski, but you know what I mean? This is a young dude, and like he got his title shot out of nowhere, so like he might be coming out for blood, but I'm gonna roll with Alexander.
Chase Hooper said that it's a tough matchup because it's hard to know how Volkanovski's chin will hold up after the knockouts by Islam and Tukugov. However, he believes Volkanovski is doing the right thing by taking some time off. Hooper acknowledged that Lopez is still somewhat of an unknown, but despite wanting to see Lopez get the win, he thinks it will be difficult for him to overcome Volkanovski. He ultimately thinks Volkanovski will get the job done.
That's another hard one too. It's like we don't know what Volk's chin's looking like after, the Islam knockout and the Topuria knockout. But it seems like he's doing the right thing, taking some time off. Lopes is just such an unknown, and I want to see Lopes get the win, but I think it's going to be hard against Volk. I think Volk's going to do it.
Saif Saud described Diego as a tough, confident fighter with a history of sloppiness, but noted his improved boxing and patience after the Ortega fight. He acknowledged Volkanovski as a legend with exceptional fight IQ, aided by a strategic team led by Joe Lopez. Saif highlighted the key question of whether Diego can address his defensive flaws and outsmart Volkanovski, especially after Volkanovski's strong performance against Ilya. He believes the fight will depend on both fighters' physicality and strategy.
Man, I think that's a huge fight, and I think that Diego's so tough and so dangerous. I've said this, he's got an energy about him. He just believes in himself. And I mean, he's looked like he's gotten a little bit sloppy at times, and then I saw the Ortega fight. He had cleaned up his boxing. He was really slick and really patient.
However, Jamahal Hill said that Lopez is incredibly dynamic and has the potential to beat just about anyone. He acknowledged how difficult it is to bet against Lopez's abilities, as the fighter is capable of pulling off wins against top-level competition. However, Hill leaned slightly toward Volkanovski, citing his ability to make adjustments and solve problems in the octagon. He mentioned that Volkanovski's track record, particularly the way he's handled challenges and presented tough puzzles to his opponents, would make him the favorite in this matchup. While Lopez has shown he's 100% dynamic and capable of great things, Hill believes Volkanovski's experience at the highest level would give him the edge.
Lopez is dynamic. He's super, super dynamic. He has the ability to go out and get a win over just about anybody. So it's hard to count against that, but Volk, I probably lean a little bit closer, more towards Volk just because we've seen the ability, just the ability. Certain things that I've seen will be a problem for anybody, and if you haven't really been on point and fought against guys that are at that level, like that. Don't be wrong, Diego has shown that he's completely 100% dynamic. He's capable of a lot of great things. But the adjustments that Volk has been able to make, and then the puzzles that he's been able to present throughout his career, I believe will kind of make me lean towards that.
Moreover, Chepe Mariscal said that he's picking Diego Lopez for the fight, noting how Lopez has been consistent and never turned down an opponent. He praised Lopez for staying busy and taking on fighters with big names, highlighting his willingness to accept a short notice fight against Dan as an example of his dedication. Mariscal believes that fighters like Lopez deserve these opportunities, especially when the timing is right. He also mentioned that Lopez could be facing a different Volkanovski, one who may be on a losing streak and could potentially retire if Lopez wins.
Man, I got Diego Lopez on that fight. I like what he's been doing. He hasn't said no to no opponent. He's been saying yes, and he's staying consistent. You know, you can see that he's been just busy, and putting out people that, you know, have names, and he said no. I mean, he said yes to a very short notice fight against Dan Ige. Like, man, that, like, a guy like that, they deserve fights like that, you know. And he obviously got the right window at this time, and he's fighting a Volk, a very, you know, probably, you know, a whole new Volk, you know, because he's like on a losing streak, or, you know, he takes out Volk and probably tries to retire him, you know.
Christian Rodriguez believes Volkanovski will win the fight, noting that his losses to Islam and Ilya were due to bad timing, not a lack of skill. He praised Ilya as one of his favorite fighters, but argued that people too quickly write off fighters after a couple of losses, calling it absurd to think Volkanovski is washed up. Rodriguez highlighted Volkanovski's experience, toughness, and ability to push the pace in later rounds, adding that his losses were to some of the hardest hitters in the sport, which puts them into perspective.
I think Volk wins it. I think when he fought Islam and Ilya, I think they were bad timing. No, like, not taking credit away from Ilya. I think he's one of my favorite fighters. But I think that whole timeline thing kind of messed things up, and people are really counting out. It's crazy because, like, sometimes you lose 2 fights and people are like, damn, he's washed up, he's done, you know? But I have Volk. I think Volk's very experienced, very tough, and I think he pushes the gas towards the end of the rounds, like the later rounds. And he's very durable, you know? The people he's lost to are like one of the hardest hitting fighters in the planet, you know?
Cody Brundage said that he believes Diego Lopez has a real chance in the fight, especially given his momentum and skill set. He highlighted Lopez's size at 145, his striking power, and his grappling, which could potentially neutralize Volkanovski's wrestling. Brundage also pointed out that while Volkanovski is a beast and incredibly tough, his age and the trend of fighters over 35 struggling to win belts at 145 or lower could play a role in this matchup. Ultimately, Brundage thinks Lopez has the tools to get the win.
Again, I think this is a case, you know, of youth versus vet, and Diego's riding a huge wave of momentum. I think Diego will get it done. He's a big dude at 145. He hits hard. He can grapple very well, kind of eliminate the threat of the wrestling from Volk, because he has such an active guard that I feel like he'll be able to get back to his feet if he does get taken down. You know, Volk's a beast. You can never count him out, but he is getting older. There's a reason that I forget the stat, but it's like some crazy stat that if you're over 35, you have never won a belt at 145 or something like that, or lower, or 155 or lower. So I think there's a reason for that. And I think Diego gets it done.
Luis Garuli said that it's a tough one, but he thinks Volkanovski will pull through. He mentioned that Volkanovski is a veteran who has been through it all and is incredibly skilled. Garule also admitted he's a bit biased because he relates to Volkanovski, often being the shorter, smaller guy in his own matchups, so he takes a lot of inspiration from him. However, he acknowledged that Lopez is dangerous, and if Volkanovski still has his chin intact, he believes the fight will go in Volkanovski's favor.
That one's a tougher one, but I think Volk gets it out. Volk's a veteran. He's been there time and time again, and he's so good. But I'm also biased because Volk's like always the shorter, smaller guy in a lot of his matchups. So I take a lot of my stuff from Volk. So I love him. But Lopez is dangerous. So I think if Volk still has his chin, I think it goes Volk's way.
Myron Santos said that he's picking Diego Lopez for the fight, citing his momentum and the fact that Lopez has all the tools to win. He pointed out Lopez's heavy hands and strong ground game, noting that Volkanovski may not be in the best position at the moment, particularly with his age. Santos ultimately believes Lopez will get the win.
And I'm gonna go with Diego. I think he has the momentum, and he has everything, all the tools to win. heavy hands, good ground game, and it's not a good moment for Volkanovski. Uh, there's the age too, and I'm gonna go with Diego.
Pedro Falcao said that he believes Diego Lopez is in the best position right now, feeling confident and in great shape. He feels this is Diego's moment to shine, while acknowledging that Volkanovski is a very tough opponent who has faced the best in the division. Falcao believes Diego is in his prime. He mentioned training with Diego recently and noted how strong and big he looked for the division. Falcao also highlighted Diego's powerful hands and excellent jiu-jitsu, emphasizing that it doesn't matter if he's on top or on the bottom, as he thinks Diego's jiu-jitsu is a major strength.
I think Diego is in the best position right now, so confidence, great shape. I think in his moment, to shine. And I know Volk is very, very, very tough opponent, for sure. It's like he fought the best guys in this division. But I think Diego's in his prime, And I trained with Diego a couple times. I think last Saturday we have some session. We training together and he looks so good. So strong and big for this division, And Diego have strong hands and very good jiu-jitsu, It doesn't matter on bottom or on top. He has a very good jiu-jitsu.
Torres Finney believes it will be a great fight, but pointed out that Diego tends to slow down after the second round, which could be problematic. He noted that Volkanovski, in contrast, picks up the pace as the fight progresses. Finney questioned whether Diego could land cleanly on Volkanovski's chin, a key factor in the fight. He also highlighted that Volkanovski is coming in with a full camp after time off since last year. Ultimately, Finney leaned toward Volkanovski for the win.
Great fight. Man. So Diego has problems usually after that second round. He slows down. Volkanovski, in fights like that, he picks up. Now, this also comes to the degree, is Diego going to be able to touch the chin of Volkanovski in that pack? I don't know. And we're also seeing an Alex Volkanovski with a full camp right now. So, and he's taking some time off since last year, since Taporia. I'm going to lean Volkanovski. I'm going to go Volkanovski.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to like and share if you enjoyed the video.